Rev up your engines!
Crystal says, good morning, Scotty. Would towing a vehicle behind an RV hurt it with all those miles and not driving it? Especially if it's towed thousands of miles in 1 year. It depends on the vehicle. If you are going to tow a vehicle behind an RV with all four wheels on the ground, you got to be towing a standard transmission vehicle. You can't do that with any automatic transmission vehicle because it will ruin the automatic transmission. Even if you put it in neutral, it will ruin the automatic transmission. But if you do it with a standard transmission vehicle, it won't hurt anything. The lubrication just goes by spinning around. The oil on the bottom splashes on the top, and it won't hurt anything. But don't try it with any automatic transmission. Over time, it will destroy the transmission. So don't do that unless you're buying a standard transmission. If you're getting a standard transmission Toyota or a Ford Mustang or something, standard transmission, go right ahead. Just you can't do it with an automatic transmission. You can do it in a short run. You can do it for, 20 miles, 10 miles moving it, but not thousands of miles towing it behind it. You just can't do that. Steve Hogan says, what's your opinion on an '07 Hummer H3? It's got 230,000 miles, seems to run good, $2,000. Okay, they stopped making them for a good reason. They were junk and they fell apart, and they're gas hogs. But if you want a toy for the weekend, do a paintball shooting or something, dress them in military outfits, go ahead if it runs good and it shifts good. Just realize that they're endless money pits as they age. But if it's a toy and you want a $2,000 toy, you want to fiddle around with on the weekends and drive around on the weekends, maybe having parades or something, put a fake machine gun pour it out or something, go right ahead. What's $2,000 these days? But don't buy it and don't think you can use it as an everyday driver. It won't cost you a fortune to both buy gas for and repair it as it breaks down. Chibo Ama says, Scotty, I heard you talking about the Honda Earthstream engine. I have a 2014 manual. Well, at least you got a manual transmission. But see, the real problem is those are gasoline direct engines and they have turbochargers on them. And they have an oil dilution problem. Somehow, all that pressure, the gas spraying in, gets by the piston rings, dilutes the oil, which of course eventually is going to wear your engine out faster. So I'm not a fan of one. I would not buy one. You've got it, so change your oil out. Don't listen to any of the crap they tell you about 10, 15,000 mile oil changes. I would change my oil in that vehicle every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, period. Because then you might be able to bypass all the problems. Because the oil dilution takes a long time. And if you change the oil more often, then you got fresh oil in. It's not like it's pouring in. It's a little bit here and there. Mr. Businessman 305 says, Scotty, is the manual on a Nissan better than automatic? Yeah, like 10 times better. One of the worst things on a Nissans are their Jatco transmissions. And if you go with the standard transmission instead of that automatic Jatco, they're good. I've got customers with Nissans that have 300,000 miles on them. Some of them, even the later ones, after they merged with Renault, but they were all standard transmissions. The one with automatics, they all broke. And the CVTs and Nissans are one of the worst out there. Preslek said, Oldsmobile, Scotty, what happened to them? Well, of course, originally, Oldsmobile was a real company, Oldsmobile. They made their own cars, and they made pretty decent vehicles. But then, ages ago, General Motors bought them out. And then they just became another General Motors car. They're no different. They're all made in the same factories. And then the GM decided not to sell that name anymore. I mean, all it is names now. It used to mean something. Cadillac was its own company, but GM's owned them for ages. And, they're all the same cars. They got the same bodies and the same engines and the same vehicles. So the name doesn't mean anything anymore like it used to. Like Jeep was originally Willys Overland. And then American Motors bought them. And then Chrysler bought American Motors and got rid of all the cars, only kept the Jeeps. It's just a name these days, doesn't mean anything. Najee Falcori says, Scotty, I got a 2011 Honda Odyssey with 120,000 miles. It's having a misfire issue with cylinder number 3. Dealer says it has to be done over. It costs $3,000. Should I change the spark plug and turn off the VCM? Go ahead if you want. I mean, if it runs good enough. Yeah, it would cost a lot of money generally to fix those if it's not the coil or the spark plug. Honda had problems with those engines. The cams wallowed out and they'd wobble around and you get a misfire on a cylinder number 3 and you'd have to redo the heads of the engine, and that's the kind of money it would cost to do. It's one of the reasons I tell people not to buy Honda Odyssey vans. They've engine problems, they've had transmission problems. If you want to buy a van, get a Toyota Sienna. Don't buy the Odyssey. They just don't last as long. They're not as well made. That's just the way way that it goes. Trevor says, Scotty, do you have the next car in mind when your Celica finally dies? Well, probably it'll never die, so I won't have to worry about it. But I got the Matrix, too, because that was my wife's work car when she went to school. And then I got her that Lexus, and our kids are all gone, so it just sits lying around, and I would use that. But I doubt if the Celica will ever die. I don't put that many miles on anymore. And those things are so well made. I mean, it's a Toyota Camry, a Toyota Corolla engine and transmission. I've seen 1 million miles on them, so this has only got 240,000 miles. I doubt it'll ever wear out. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.